Video's not working.
Let me have it in right here. All right.
Debbie Coger's checking in with the mayor. She's having trouble signing in, but she's working on it.
I've started the recording on here now.
Are we ready?
Yes, sir. I believe we are. Debbie can just come in when she gets on with us.
All right. Like everybody else, I have a junior high football game I need to get to. But anyway, moving right along, we're called meeting to order. Jasper Municipal Regional Planning Commission. We've looked at the minutes. I don't know about motion, Mark. How do we handle that? We just looked at the minutes a minute ago.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I can't hear Mark.
Yeah. That should be the, yeah. Yeah, and it should pop up there, join the meeting with audio.
Sorry, I was muted. We'll do it like we normally do, Mac. Just a motion and, second to approve the minutes.
Okay, all right.
And we've got more than one set of minutes this time, I think, right, Chad?
Well, the last one that she had sent me was the one I put up on the screen, but I do think we had missed a few at the last meeting, but all I noted was the August meeting. And that's what I had up on the screen.
Okay. That's all you had, though, right?
Yes, and I can put those back up there. I do have some other versions she had sent, but I'm not exactly sure which ones we not approved since the last time.
Okay, but the ones that are up on the screen are the ones we need to approve for this meeting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
so let's just a motion and a second to approve these, Mac.
All right, motion as these minutes as presented. Need to get a motion to approve them.
Motion to approve.
All right, have a second.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All right, I don't guess we have any opposed. All right, Chad, looks like you're up. New business, Huddle House site plan, 1250 Highway 28.
Okay, let me swap over there. Just to let you know, on our call today, we have Mr. Amit Patel. He's the developer of this piece of property and the developer of the Huddle House. We also have Lee Starnes, who was the engineer on the project. And then I'm not sure who Mr. Fogarty is. If you wanted to introduce yourself to us, sir.
My name is Sean Fogarty. I'm the architect for the project.
Okay, good deal. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
So,
Welcome on.
let's see, we have Debbie coming in right now, but in your agenda packets, there was a copy of the original site plan that was submitted for review and also the amended site plan. So that's what I'm going to put up on the screen for us to take a look at.
Okay, Deb, we're just now starting.
Okay, thank you.
So let me shift over to those plans here and I'll put those up for us. Okay, so here was the original proposal, the marked up version. A couple of things that had been noted on that was you require in your zoning ordinance parking spaces to be 10 by 20. The engineer has made that correction. The other thing was they were showing some proposed future development at the back of the property. That has been removed from this site plan since it's only proposed at this time. So it will not be included in the new version. That also takes away the comments I had there about the property line. I also made a comment about the screening of the dumpster that's on the property that has been shown, and it has been detailed in the notes on the new site plan as well. They do have a drainage plan, which I'll get Mr. Starnes to talk to us here just about in a minute for all the stormwater draining off of the property. They did go back and show the square footage of the building, and they did indicate the number of restaurant seats so that we could calculate the parking. So this was the original proposal. This is the new proposal that has been submitted. It's a 2,704 square foot building. They're proposing 47 regular parking spaces and 3 ADA parking spaces. Those are also van accessible the way they're laid out. By your ordinance, only 21 spaces were required, so they do far exceed that amount. As far as the proposed additions that they had shown in the original, because they do have additional parking there, if they do decide to expand in the future, it looks like they will have sufficient room just based on what the retail will be is how we'll make a final determination if that parking is adequate, but that's going to be down the road as they add on to that development. Also in this packet, there's a copy of the signage plan. Typically, the building inspector will review the signage plan. I've just skimmed through it to make sure it meets the minimum requirements as far as height, sign facing sizes, and all of that. That looked like it met all of those minimum requirements to me, but when they apply for the building permit, Earl Gary will need to review the signage plan in detail to make sure that it complies with the minimum requirements. So the one thing I've not had the chance to talk to him about, the engineer, Mr. Starnes, was I wanted to ask about the stormwater drainage, how that was proposed and how that's going to be handled on the property. He did include the topo lines on here and the grading plan. So Mr. Starnes, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, this is the direction of stormwater is pretty much exactly the same as it is currently before the development. We're not really changing the direction of stormwater. It's just going to continue to go into that drainage ditch along Highway 28. And it's going to sheet flow across the site. There's not on the west side of the property, there's not curb. That's just, the pavement will end. And those are just, the little parking, concrete, blocks, to keep the cars from going past the spaces. So that'll allow the water to sheet flow off the site, and it'll perk through the grass and then get into that drainage ditch and continue to go like it's going now. That's basically it in a nutshell. It's really not a whole lot to the drainage plan for this site.
I'm guessing there's I didn't see any on-site detention or anything for this plan either. So it will all drain into the state right of way.
Exactly.
Have you submitted this proposal to TDOT to see if they have any comments? I know they do have some restrictions as far as stormwater coming onto their right of way.
Well, it's the same stormwater that's going there right now. The only difference, we're not changing the direction of stormwater. We're not changing the volume of stormwater, but I can get in, we can get hold of TDOT and see what they have to say. I don't think there's going to be a problem, but we can sure get, I can follow up with that, because we're not increasing the amount of water that's hitting that ditch, and we're not changing the direction of the amount of water that's hitting that ditch. It's my understanding that there's no requirement in Jasper for detention. They don't have a county or requirement. Everything that I looked at and tried to find early on, gosh, a year or so ago, when I first started looking at this, was to find out, that was one of the first things I searched, was to see if there was what the stormwater requirements were with their detention or anything like that. It's not in a floodway or anything like that. So I couldn't find any regulations in Jasper for stormwater as far as, detention or water quality. I deal with that all the time in other municipalities, in Chattanooga and Dalton and other areas, but I couldn't find anything in any of the zoning documents or documents relative to that area that had any detention requirements. So that's why I didn't put any in there. I didn't even.
One thing I'd recommend before any building permits issued is that TDOT's contacted, because we are increasing the pavement for more surface water runoff, which can, that can feasibly make water run a lot faster than it would on just an open lot as it is now. But since that is going to dump into the TDOT right away, I think we do need to at least have those plans submitted to TDOT before the building permit is issued.
Yeah, we'll be glad to follow up with that. You're exactly right. The rate of flow will increase on the impervious area, but the volume will not increase. It's not going to be any more rain. It's just going to get off of that site faster. And if they,
Right.
you
And
know,
the
if
faster
they
water
want
runs,
us
as
to-
we know in the valley, the faster the water runs, the quicker it pools in areas too.
So we'll follow up with TDOT, and if they need us to, you know, do anything, we'll follow up with that too.
Okay. Now, as far as the site plan goes, from what I found, I think the changes that they were made outside of contacting TDOT about the stormwater runoff, all the changes that they made seem to be in compliance with your zoning ordinance. Mr. Patel, did you have anything you wanted to add about your development?
No, I think we've covered all the important points so far.
Okay. Any questions from any of the members?
Well, Chad, I have a question. This is Stan Wilson. I've got a couple questions. Number one is, it shows on here that there's a 61-foot roadway. Is that a city road, or do we know, is that just an easement? Is it a road? What is that there? Does anybody know what that is?
Stan, that is a private drive belonging to the Acuff family.
And also the other question is, I'm seeing that there's 3 tracks here, track 1, 2, and 3. Has that been subdivided yet, or is that just a proposed tracks 1, 2, and 3?
I guess that'd be you, Mr. Patel. I think it's phase 1, 2, and 3. It's all gonna be one site, just different phases. That right, Mr. Patel?
Yeah, that's correct. It's just a proposed planning of future buildings there, but it'll all be one parcel as it exists now.
So there's not going to be 3 tracks, it'll just be 1 track?
Yes, it'll just, as far as the property division goes, it'll still be one plot, yes.
So where's the access going to be for track number 2? How are you going to get access to track number 2 if this huddle house is built on track number 1?
It shares the same pavement and the parking is shared. So it already has access coming in from the same entry as it does now.
So it's going to come through the huddle house parking lot?
That's correct.
Stan, you can see here on this site plan too, where they've left it open in this general area right here for future development.
Between those parking spots, I can't read that. How many feet is that between those parking spots there?
This site
10 feet.
doesn't tell me that.
25
Yeah, there's
feet.
10.
Well,
Oh, yes, a 25-foot drive. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to have a 25-foot drive accessing to the back of the back of that property. So I guess if it's not subdivided, it doesn't really matter, but if it's ever subdivided, can you subdivide a piece of property off of 25 foot in the city?
Well, I don't think they'll be subdivided. They do have road frontage on Highway 28. I think part of that is restricted access. I couldn't tell you that for sure as to whether or not TDOT would let them have a driveway off of that, because I know certain parts of that are restricted.
That is a restricted highway. There's no access off of 28.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm 90% sure of that.
There's no access.
And then also track number 2, access to that. I mean, I don't have a problem with the site plan I really don't have a problem with the stormwater runoff as far as whatever T-deck, I mean, it's gonna go on their property down there, and I agree. I think it's Mr. Stearns did, I agree with him, there's not gonna be any more water than there was before. It's less, that site area is less than 1 acre, so I don't think it has to go through doing a SWEP with that retention pond, but I don't know that for sure. Don't take that to the bank because I don't know.
That's correct.
I
Yeah,
think
that's correct.
it's under
TDEC's
1
not
acre,
involved unless it's,
but my only concern is is looking at it, is seeing that it's showing 3 tracks and it's very limited access to track number 2 and track number 3. That's my only concern about it there. I mean, I don't know what we're looking at approving to there. We're just looking at, we're not approving tracks 1, 2, and 3. All we're doing is looking at approving the site plan. Is that what we're doing here, Chad?
That's correct, sir. Actually, the property lines really shouldn't even be shown on this since they don't exist as of now. Really, we're just looking at just a site plan.
I'd like to see one with no property lines on there myself. And then if they want to come back later on and subdivide or put something else in there, I don't think there would be a problem other than just having access to those. I know that track 2 is, I know I saw something in there where they said something about being a future building going up there. And I don't know where the access would be for that, with being having parking spots and then a dumpster area there. I don't know how to get through that. I just didn't want a piece of property to be landlocked.
We can, I can certainly take those lines off of there. That's not a problem.
I've got a question. Mr. Patel, when we met out there Friday, looking at the water and sewer connection now, did you not say that you were going to bring in another ingress or egress up there by Hardy's on the side there?
We've not made any decision on an ingress or egress
Okay.
by Hardee's at this point.
That there is a roadway that goes up through there that that ACUP put in to access the property back there adjacent to this and adjacent to the Hardy's property. There is a road.
And I believe that's approximately 30-foot right of way that the ACUP's own between Patel's property and the Hardy's property.
Yeah.
So basically, right now, we're building just a huddle house. The reason for track 2 and track 3 to be considered right now is to make sure we're laying things out, so parking, other codes necessary. We've kind of planned for it the best we can, so we don't get in a situation where, we go to build in the future and there's major implications of having to move things around. So right now, we're really not there to really consider any ingress, egress from the rest of the property. I think the entryway should suffice for the purpose it's going to serve today. When we get to track 3, the top portion of the property is really would be looking at considering something like that. I feel like track 2, should work with the parking lot and the entryway the way it's laid out.
Well, that would be something to look at a different meeting when you're going to bring it in and to actually subdivide the property, because you were not even looking at doing a subdivision right now. You're just going to keep it as one track at this point. So you're not even requesting to subdivide the property at this time. Is that correct?
That's correct. And as of the plans now, in the future, it'll still be one property. There will not be a subdivision. It'll just have multiple buildings on the property.
Any other comments? Any other discussion?
Well,
Chad?
I'd just like to add one thing, Chairman, is I think if we could just go ahead just to make sure that we're not confusing the issue. We're not, if we approve this site plan, and I don't believe that we're approving a 3-lot subdivision there. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
Okay, so I mean, if we could do away with those property lines and just leave that as all one track, and then later on, if he wants to subdivide that or build other buildings on his property, he has a right to do that. And he can just come back and show the site plans the same way on the one piece of property. Because I think it's a little bit confusing. I know it's confusing to me when I'm looking at it and it's saying that there's a track 2 and a track 3 and a track 1, when actually in reality, there's only one track.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Mark, you want to weigh in? Hey, Mark. Mark.
I had to unmute.
Yeah, okay. I knew I was kind of, yeah, waiting on you.
Little bitty mouse pad here.
There you go.
No, it's as long as it's one piece of, one parcel, I'll call it a parcel instead of a tract.
Okay.
As long as it's all one parcel, I mean, you know, they don't have any problems there. They can put whatever, you know, the zoning restrictions allow on it. I agree with Stan though, if that were going to be subdivided, you know, then that's something that the board would have to approve in the future. But according to Mr. Patel, there's no plans to do that right now or in the future. But you never know, ownership could change or could be sold. Any number of things could happen. And, you know, that's going to require action out of the planning commission in the event that it does. So, but as of right now, what we're considering today, I don't see any, you know, that's not something we need to consider. That's all future development.
All right, Chad, anything else? Are we ready to go for a motion?
No, sir, I don't have anything else. I noted 3 things from the discussion. One was to remove the property lines that were shown on the site plan. The other is to have the building inspector review the final signage plan prior to issuing the permit and submitting these plans to TDOT just to make sure there's no issue with the stormwater that will be diverted into the right of way there.
And I can take care of 2 of those. Yeah, is my audio coming in?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can take care of I can sure take care of taking those property lines off there and just, you know, showing it as one piece, one parcel. And then I'll find out who I need to get with TDOT, and you guys need a letter or something like that from TDOT saying it's okay, or just some confirmation I can do.
Just an email will be fine, Lee. And when I get off here, I'll send you an email of who to contact at TDOT.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
And then as far as the signage plan goes, I've already submitted this to the building inspector, so he has it. He just needs to give his approval on it.
Thank you.
Well, I'll follow up with the TDOT and property lines real soon, next day or 2.
And Mr. Patel, are you okay with that, taking the property lines off of there and just showing it as one parcel?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Really, another way to look at it is it's not tract 1, tract 2, tract 3. It's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So we just wanted to kind of be prepared as possible for those future buildings to have a place without having major issues. So right now we're building just a freestanding huddle house building, and it's all going to be one parcel. So I have no problem with having the property lines removed if that makes it easier for everybody.
Well, sounds like we need a motion. Would someone word a motion and let's vote on it?
Motion to approve.
Okay.
I second it.
Chad, the motion is to approve this as one piece of property, one parcel. You know how to word it, right?
Yes, sir, with those 3 conditions that we talked about.
Right. Okay.
Hey, Chad, I forgot too, since we're doing this remotely, we have to do roll call votes. So
That's
I
correct.
told Mac that we could do it normal process. We have to do roll call because we're doing a remote session. So.
All right. Chad, you want to call the roll?
Sure. Mac Bumpus,
Yes.
Stan Wilson,
Yes.
Debbie Coger,
Yes.
Kevin Merrill,
Yes.
Paul Evans,
Yes.
Wayne Westmoreland,
Yes.
and Yvonne Wilson.
Yes.
Sound like we're unanimous. All right. Anything else, Chad?
No, sir, that's all.
Okay. All right. Well, everyone have a good evening. We sure thank you. We thank you, Mr.
Thank you all.
Patel,
Thank you.
Mr. Starr, and Ms. Fogarty. Yes, sir. Thank you. Look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
right there. I think we just left. I'm not sure. We're trying to leave.
We can hear you, Mac.
We're trying to leave.
Your audio's still on.
Hit that. There, hit that one, the red button.
Yes, right here. Okay, I think we're gonna leave, everybody. Bye.
No
We
more
didn't-
business.